Believe me when I say I cried. I cried when I read on the third stick, and I'm like, God, how am I gonna take care of three babies? But let's see how it happened. But God, He is so good. So I guess I am a dreamer, right? I've always been a dreamer, and the thing about that is, when I was in Eluther, I was dreaming. When I came home, I was dreaming, but I started asking God, like, what are these dreams? Like, is this you? Are you communicating? Like, show me. Let me know for true it's you. Well, anyway, here we go. Here's the testimony. So, in May 2023, getting ready for graduation, I was teaching grade 6 at Martintown. And not worrying about a baby. Other than Shannon, Shannon was probably just months. Months? She was one. She was one because she born in 2022. So she was one in a couple months. And I had this dream. It felt so real. I had this dream. Me and my husband went to the hospital right here, the RAN. And I just remember feeling so tired. Like, I just felt so tired. I didn't know why we was at the RAN. I did not even question it. But we went into this particular area, and Chris was standing. I sat in a chair. And we were just sitting. Literally, I was just sitting there, just not wondering. I was just waiting. And this another parent came, and he knocked on the door. I didn't even see the door. He knocked on the door, and when the nurse came out, she's like, how can I help? So he explained that his child was born like 9 days before, and he came to pick up the child. So when he said that, I said, oh, we came for our baby too, you know and I didn't know what the child would be, a girl or boy, and anything. So she went for the first man's child, and he had a bouncing baby girl, and he carried her. And then the nurse came, and she brought me a bouncing baby boy. And when I tell you, this baby boy was big, like, he was heavy, he was big, and it was like he was born a few days earlier too. I didn't know the exact time, but I just took it, maybe the same 9 days or however it went with the guy. And I promise you, as the dream continued, we took him home. I was in the back of my Hyundai. Chris was driving, and we pulled up to my mom's house. And while I was talking to him and taking the baby out of the car seat to bring him in the house, I was calling him Sean. I don't remember like the sentences I was saying, but I was just saying, like probably like welcome home, Sean, something like that. And when I woke up, I was like, Lord, you think this is the next COVID situation? Like something gonna happen with the babies? Why they gotta come out the hospital 9 days later? Like, is this a warning? Because I actually had a warning about COVID. I didn't know it was COVID until it happened. I had a dream before that, where there was a time in our country that we only could have small weddings, like only 10 or 15 people was allowed at the weddings. And that dream happened like a couple months before COVID. So I was like, God, what is this? Is this another warning about the children? Because listen, I wasn't trying to have no other babies, so it wasn't for me. This wasn't an actual baby for me. So anyway, I shared the dream with my husband. I shared the dream with my sister and my mommy. And, before I even remembered the name, I was just, giving them the details and stuff. And when I came out of the conversation, something told me to Google the name, Sean. Because in the dream, I forgot to say that, in the dream, I was saying, well, if I name the baby Sean, I'm going to switch out the S for a C again, the same way I did for Shannon. So And I was thinking, would it be S-H or S-E-A-N, switching which one out. And I chose the C-E-A-N, right? And that was strange to me because I've never seen that name. I've never heard that word, that name called or whatever. And I Googled it right at my desk in my classroom. My students were at another class, and when I Googled it, I promise you, the meaning of C-E-A-N that appeared to me on my cell phone, it said, this meaning is Yahweh is gracious. Yahweh is merciful. Y'all, when I read that, I dropped my phone flat on the desk. Because I'm like, God, you ain't talking to me through Google. There's no way you talking to me through my phone right now. And you talking to me through my dream and getting me to Google it to find out. But remember, I was praying. I was like, God, if these dreams coming from you, let me know. So I was like, okay, God, like, I got you. God is merciful. God is gracious. I got the message. I appreciate it. Thank you for your love. Thank you, Thank you for your grace. Thank you for your mercy. I got you. Right? Because again, this only could be a message. This only could be a message. It can't be that the actual baby coming. This only could be a message. I thank you for the dream. I thank you for, the symbolism to get me to Google, to get me to see this message. So anyway, wasn't worried about it. Like I said, graduation coming up, exams coming up, all the things. Busy, 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 busy. I cannot tell y'all when I got pregnant. But of course I'm married, and of course, things is happening. But I can't pinpoint the night or the day or whenever. But like I say, I was peeing on the stick in June, I think, because after graduation was over, it was like, hold up, something, something a little off. Let me check. Let me see. Let me go back to flow and see if I missed my period or whatever. Anyway, get the pee stick. And that plus sign surely did come up. And I surely did cry. And I'm like, God, how are we really going to take care of 3 children? And his response to me was, he will have everything he needs. You don't have to worry. He will have everything he needs. And in that moment, y'all, I still wasn't totally convinced. But I promise you that was the beginning of my faith walk. That was the beginning. Because as I went to the doctor, which I put off for a while, because I was still like in denial, like what were we doing? I was still in denial. But eventually I went up to Dr. Ward, who of course had to wait for a couple good months to confirm if it was a boy. Now I already know it's a boy. I already know his name and everything, but I still waiting on man's confirmation. But I was going to my monthly checkups and all the things. Everything was progressing good. And Lord, everything was progressing good. But one thing I say that I wish that I could have done or I should have done was go into the doctor's office, to Dr. Ward and Dr. Hunt, and say, this is a boy, I've already seen him. There are going to be complications with the birth. It's going to be something where he's going to have to stay in the hospital. Like, I wish I was that way with my faith, but I wasn't. But still, I continue to read in my Bible. I continue to listen. I continue to seek. I continue to watch more sermons, get into some education, get into the God who I was sure was speaking to me and learn more about him, learn about what it is that he wants from me, like what you want, right? But again, I had already stopped going to the bar and stopped drinking because again, you're pregnant, you want to protect your baby, you don't want no poison, you don't want no negative people, you don't want nothing on your baby. So I was just going again, just continuing to look to God because you brought me here and you got to stay with me. Or I got to stay with you, however it go. And I remember one night, and this is a part of a testimony that I don't say often. I remember one night during my pregnancy, I was praying as I usually do. I was calling everybody by name. God, cover Chelsea, that's my oldest. God, cover Shannon. God, cover Chris. God, cover my mommy. God, cover my sister and Abigail. And God, cover me and my baby. You know, that would be the last thing I say before I go to bed. And one night the Holy Spirit just said, why don't you cover him? You know his name. Why don't you call his name? He is a person. I said, God, man, I just think, he's covered under me. So he didn't say anything else, and I didn't say anything, and I don't remember if I actually did, say, God, please cover Sean. Well, that was the last night I ever did not do that. Because God be talking, and he be talking to me in my dreams. So that night I went to bed, and me and my sister went out in my dream, like a regular Friday, and we went to this bar. It was empty. I was happy it was empty because I knew I was pregnant. I felt pregnant. I felt tired. I felt like I didn't want to be around people and be bothered. So we went outside the bar and to this like food hut type situation, like a grill or whatever. And I was just like placing my order, hungry. When you're pregnant, you're always hungry. And I realized like some people to the side of us or behind us or however, it was this group of people doing a ritual dance as if it was a fraternity or some type of ritual dance. They was getting in circles, doing their little clap here, that, this and that. And I wasn't really paying attention because, like I said, I was trying to get my food. I was tired. I didn't want to be bothered. I didn't know them, so, it wasn't no big deal for me. So anyway, when they finished, one of the guys came up to us. And I didn't recognize him, and he spoke to my sister, and he said, Danny, this your sister who you say pregnant? And she said yes. Or she didn't really say yes, she just nodded, to say yeah. And when I tell you that young man placed his hand into my stomach, and I could feel when his hand went straight down into my stomach, and I said, Father, please protect my son. Please protect Sean. And I knew that the words came out of my mouth right before he was able to do whatever it was he was trying to do. And I woke right up. But I could feel that man's hand in my stomach trying to get to my baby. And I promise y'all, when I wake up, that wake up something in me.